In this tutorial, I want to actually discuss how to build the different authority records. Again, the only reason you really need to even be in the authority tables is if you're creating a work and it just so happens that that artist or repository or city or material isn't in there at all. So when you go to do a search or the drop down menu, it doesn't pop up. So if you can't find it in the work record, this is when you come to the authority tables. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the authorities into three major groups, and these groups actually refer to their authority databases from the Getty. So what it'll be broken up into is the first one, which we will actually discuss in this tutorial, is how to build names and repositories, which refer to the union list of artist names, also called ULAN. Then we will talk about the ones that are based on the geography. So countries, geography, and regions all refer to TGN, the source of geographic uh, names. I think that's what it is. And then the other ones are going to be things, the culture and periods, the materials, the subjects, and the work types, which all refer to AAT, which we will also show in another tutorial. So for this one, we are going to start out and say that we need to create a name authority based on the Dutch artist Gerard van Honthorst. Now, we got this from this image, one of his paintings, and said that we have to catalog it, and it wasn't in there. So what we do is you notice that there's repositories and names. They're really both the same. So just stick with names. So we'll click on names. We already did a search in work records and it didn't show anything. You can always do a control find and search up here where the name is, but we're just going to trust that it's not there, and we're going to control N to create a new record. And then we're going to go to ULAN. There's two ways to do it. The way that you'll use most often is just these nice little nifty buttons that'll automatically open ULAN in one of your browser windows. We're actually going to be going through and go to the main web page, go to the cataloging information, because it also gives a little bit of a description of what it is, and we are going to go to the Getty Union List of Artist Names. Now, all you have to do is type in usually the last name and sometimes the first name if it's a popular name like Smith or Jones or something like that. So Honthorst isn't very popular. So what you'll see is all the names that match Honthorst. The Gerard van Honthorst is the person. We know that he was a Dutch painter. We knew that he was around the Baroque. So this is definitely our person. So you click on this. In this page, you will have all of the information and probably more that you will need. Sometimes they don't have what period they belong to, but once we get all this information, it's really easy for us to figure out what period through an easy search. So what I want you to do is start out by copying his name. So Control C, pop over to FileMaker into your name record and paste it directly up top. Now you have your qualifier, which is preferred. Just so that you know what the qualifier is, actually let me select English. When we look back at the ULAN, you'll notice it has names and a whole lot of names that are just varieties. You know, for instance, he studied in Italy, so you have a lot of Italian versions of his name, but you will always have preferred for the preferred one on the top, and then you will also have a bunch of variants. If you wanted to create variants, I will show you how to do that. Actually, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create this one as a variant. Pop back over to FileMaker, and we'll pop this one in, and it would be a variant, English again. Now, the source ID is going to be ULAN. Unfortunately, it's not a drop-down right now. I hope that that will be improved sometime soon. But all you have to do is click back to the previous one. The source ID is number 27. Click 27. and then it'll automatically pop in the source abbreviation. And the source detail is going to be, if we go back to ULAN, you'll notice up top this ID. And then just pop back into FileMaker and pop that in there. Now, the next thing you want to do is name type. Obviously, he is a person, but let's say you were doing a architectural firm. That would be corporate. Sometimes there are families, sometimes there are museums, which are part of the repository. That's what this little button is for. And then you have your tabs down here. Now, you currently do not have a full enough authority record. So you pop down here into the names. You don't really need to worry about these top things first. Related names, don't worry about that. And related places, you don't need to worry about either. However, we do need to get his life and death dates, what he did, where he's from, and when he worked. So let's pop back into ULAN. And if we go down, we have actually up top, we have the life and death dates. I usually go ahead and copy this just because for some reason I always seem to forget one of the dates before I get there. So we're going to paste it into the start, and then 1656. 1656 is the end date, and you'll notice how it automatically formats dates down here. You do need to drop down date type. This was a life date. It's telling, yes, this is when he was born, this is when he died. Sometimes it just gives activity dates because they're not sure when they were born. So you just pick the life. You also can pick the gender. He is a male, so we've got that. And then the centuries is also a drop down. So he was in the 16th and 17th century, and you'll notice that automatically it picks the CEs as well. The life roles, according to ULAN, if we pop back over to ULAN, it says he was a painter and draftsman, and we'll also keep Dutch in our memories as well. So back over to IRIS. So he was a painter. Now sometimes if you've already clicked in there and gone away, it won't do the drop down. All you have to do is click out, click back in, and painter, draftsman. The country is the Netherlands since he was Dutch. Cultures would be Dutch. And the periods, it doesn't really give in ULAN anywhere what period they were part of. So usually if you don't know what period they're in, you can usually do a Google search for their name and period and be able to find a period in Wiki or something like that. I don't recommend going to Wiki for your full record, but if you just need these little things, Wiki's usually all right to be able to pick what the period is. So we're going back into FileMaker, and we're going to drop down Baroque because I know he's Baroque. And then we just have to click these build buttons down here, and you are ready to go with this name. All you have to do, if you are creating a work record currently that needed this, you just copy it and then go to the work. Usually you have to go authorities, works, and then you just paste it inside the culture and agents right down here. So it's really as easy as that. If we go back to the authorities, one thing that you'll notice on the repository side is instead of a lot of the life dates, death dates, buildings don't have male or female. It's actually really asking for the geography, where it actually is located, contact information, which you can usually do a Google search. So that's how you create a names record. In the next one, we will go into how to create geography authorities.